The day before war began, his squadron was posted to France as part of the Advanced Air Striking Force, landing at Auberive on the 2nd of September 1939, from where they began flying reconnaissance flights to the Franco-German border, before moving to an airfield near Rheims on the 12th. Surviving a brutal winter, Mac's squadron was thrust into battle with the invasion of the West on the 10th of May 1940. During the next 2 weeks, Mac had his share of dangerous bombing attacks. Desperately trying to stem the tide of German armor and infantry as they pushed inexorably towards the French coast, the squadron also made night raids against railway traffic. But nothing was going to stop the enemy advance, and all too soon it was a case of flying back to England, while further to the north, the Dunkirk evacuation was taking place. Back in the UK, 88 Squadron was sent to Northern Ireland, but the good news was that Mac had been awarded the DFC for his efforts in France. With the Battle of Britain about to begin, volunteers from bomber and coastal commands were being asked for to join Fighter Command. A handful of 88's pilots did so, Mac being among those selected. His first squadron was 145, based at Drem in Scotland, which was on rest from the south of England. A further call for volunteers to move to fighter squadrons in the south came, and once more Mac did just that, finding himself with 73 Squadron at RAF Debden. He just managed to see some action as the battle petered out, but had his first combat on the 7th of October. He had no firm success, but did claim to knock some pieces off a couple of Me-109s. But then came another chance to volunteer, this time to go to the Middle East. Within days, Mac found himself aboard the carrier Argus, headed for the island of Malta, where he joined 261 Squadron with the rank of Flight Lieutenant. On the 16th of November 1940, the 12 Hurricanes on the carrier were prepared to fly off the next morning, but the distance to Malta was too great, and a number of Hurricanes ran out of fuel and were lost. Mac only just made to Cali Airfield with about 4 gallons of petrol left, and immediately went down with a high temperature, so was whisked off to hospital for a few days. Without seeing any action over Malta, he went back to Gibraltar, but returned to the island on the 5th of January 1941 and to 261 Squadron. On the 9th of January 1941, he shot down 2 Marquis 200 fighters of 6 Grupo, and 10 days later scored a brace of Ju-87s. Not content with this, he also shot down a Kant Z-506B, a Ju-88, and possibly a CR-42 biplane fighter. One of the Italian Marquis pilots he shot down on the 9th was Capitano Luigi Armanino, who bailed out and ended up in a Maltese hospital. A month later, when Mac was wounded, he found himself in the next bed to the Italian. Enemy aircraft also attacked the island at night, and on the night of the 8th to 9th of February, during 2 sorties, Mac shot down 2 Ju-88s, although the first of these was, in fact, an HE-111. Mac received a bar to his DFC for his actions. However, on the 16th, McLaughlin was himself shot down during a scrap with Me-109s. During the combat, he failed to spot a 109 coming in from behind. Badly hit, he was seriously wounded in his left arm and forced to bail out. Luckily, he landed on the island and not in the sea. He quickly ended up in hospital, but within a day or so, it became clear his forearm could not be saved, and it was amputated. Mac had been shot down by the German ace Oberleutnant Joachim Munchenberg of JG-6. As soon as it was possible, Mac returned to the UK and attended the Artificial Limb Unit at Roehampton. Effectively out of the war, Mac became determined not only to fly again, but to get back into combat. This did not seem feasible, but his desire to do so overcame all, and fitted with a suitable prosthetic which enabled him to engage the throttle controls with his forced left arm, he was back flying before the end of the year. For a pilot so badly injured, he could have easily remained away from operational flying, but Mac McLaughlin ignored any advice to this effect and did his utmost to return to flying against Germany, which ultimately cost him his life. Before that event, however, he had proved himself and carved a niche within the annals of the RAF. One-armed Mac, having proved his point, was given command of 1 squadron that was engaged on night intruder operations at this stage of the war with Hurricane II fighters. This was following a brief attachment to 3 Squadron in October in order to gain some experience of night intruder operations. Once OC of 1 Squadron,